towards lecture number 3, that is about understand system design, implementation, and testing. To understand about the design of the system, the implementation of that system, and how to test that system. And what about testing, the main points about testing. So first point is about analyze the importance of system implementation and testing. So first of all, what does system design mean? What do you think? What does system design mean?
Ma'am, in short, I would say like a system design means the infrastructure of that design, which is fulfilling the actual requirement of the business requirement.
Yes, basically the architecture, or you can say the structure on which whole system or the software depends. So system design is the process of defining the elements of a system, such as the architecture, modules, and components, the different interfaces of those components, and the data that goes through that system. It is meant to satisfy specific needs and requirements. And system design implies a systematic approach to the design of a system. It may take a bottom up or top down approach, but either way, the process is systematic, wherein it takes into account all related variables of the system that needs to be created, from the architecture to the required hardware and software, right down to the data and how it travels and transforms throughout its travel through the system. System designs then overlaps with system analysis, system engineering, and system architecture. Now, basically, in system design, we just it is not specific that we just have to design the module, or that how our project will look like or how our software will look like. It combines all of its components which will be used during this system, or during the system design, or during the system initial stages. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Then there is what is implementation. Now, implementation, after the designing process, we go for the implementation, the main coding part, where we will do coding, or we will start our program to be worked out. Implementation is the execution of practice of a plan. Now we have designed, we have planned that what is our software or how it will look like. Now we will execute our plan. That now we want an written application, you can say, or some written document on that. Now we have to execute our plan, execute our design to start its working, to make it work and operational.
Means implementation.
Yes. A method or any design, idea, model, specification, standard, or policy for doing something. As such, implementation is the action that must follow any preliminary thinking for something to actually happen. When we plan about something, for example, we are sitting in our home and we plan to, for instance, we are designing our house. We want our house to be made, but first we are making or confirming the design. So after confirming the design and by collecting all of its components, means that how much cement will be needed, or how many bricks will be needed, or what else thing we need. When we start our first brick, with our first brick, that is our implementation. By all the components, when we start working, when we start using our all components of that design or of that software. So software testing. Software testing is the act of examining the artifacts and the behavior of the software under test by validation and verification. Now, how do we do test? We will run the software. We will watch out that either it is reaching our goal or not. It is valid or not, it is working or not, and then verification that the changes we have made, so there is no more errors. That is called validation and verification, that it is working well. That is called software testing. Software testing can also provide an objective, independent view of the software to allow the business to appreciate and understand the risk of software implementation. Test techniques include, but not necessarily limited to. Now, what does test include? Test include analyzing the product requirement for completeness and correctness, in various contexts like industry perspective, business perspective, feasibility, viability of implementation, by the means of use, that how we can use it. It is used in every convenience, or performance is good, security wise it is good, and how it is in its infrastructures considerations, etc. Now testing includes everything from design to using the software, towards its security. Is it secure? It is usable? It is effective, or we can use it easily, or we are understanding it or not? These all, and for what that software is. If it is for industrial use, so for industrial use it is good or not, every industry can use this software or not. Or if it is of for business perspective, so every business, it doesn't matter what the product or what the base and what the cause of that business is, every businessman could use it in each of its working. So that is included in testing. Then reviewing the product architecture and the overall design of the product. That what are the views about the product architecture? Is design is good or not? We will take the comments, we will take the reviews. It can be from our company, it can be from the users through social media and all. Then working with developers on improvement in coding techniques, design patterns, tests that can be written as part of code based on various techniques like boundary conditions. Now, when someone develops some product and they have to improve it, now what are their coding techniques? Through which coding techniques or through which platform they are designing? What are their design pattern? Test can be written as a part of code based on various techniques like boundary condition. Now, boundary condition means that every software should have some boundaries. Like it should not exceed the, you can say the developing time can be a boundary, or the user accessibility can also be a boundary, or the updation can be a boundary. Any type of boundary can be, or there may be some or other legal actions you can cause like boundary.
Like thresholds,
Yes.
like the thresholds.
Yes, you can say that. Or any, and if there is a website of a product, you can say. So some illegal or inappropriate wordings can also be the boundary. So it is just the requirement of a system, that what is about the system and what boundaries can we make to make that software reliable, effective. Executing a program or application with the intent of examining behavior. Now we will execute a program not as a owner, as a user. We will execute and see, we will examine that how this is working. If we are a normal user, a normal client that is using that software, now what will be its reaction? As a owner, we will be proud that, oh wow, we have made this thing and this is so unique. But when we are testing, we will not work as an owner. We will consider ourselves as a normal person who is using that software, and what will be the remarks of that person. Examination means that reviewing the development infrastructure and associated scripts and automation, that whatever if we have given the comments or the scripts on that software can easily be understood by every person or not. Take part in production activities by using monitoring and observability techniques. Now, if we are working in a company where we just have to design the system, but still we will take part in the production activities, that how our design is working, what are the coding, how they will make our design work. We will monitor and observe also. That is the design level testing. The person who has designed the software has the right to observe that how his design is being worked, or how they are making it workable.
Got it,
So
ma'am.
next is importance of implementation and testing. Now, this is so sure that implementation is obviously important, because by the plan, no software can be made by itself. Or we cannot just tell out a software that this is our plan. No, you can implement it by yourself. No. Implementation, working on it to be executed is really important. And first of all, the user interface is important, that what it will look like and how it will work. Implementation is the realization of a design so that it can be executed on computer. This includes the realization of the systems class, the user interface, and the database structure. Now, implementation covers all these things. Then testing. Now, what do you think? What is the importance of testing? Why should we need to test?
Obviously, ma'am, to see the implemented project or implemented software, is it working as per the uh, planned or as per the requirements or as per the uh, foreseeable
Yes,
outputs?
yes, good. So, and we have to test it like our owner also, that we are testing our software. Is there any error or not, to debug any errors? Secondly, we will test as a normal client also, that how will be the reaction of other people if they are using that, if they are feeling difficulty in using that software, where they can feel difficulty by understanding some actions or some buttons or some interfaces. So we have to keep these things in mind also. Testing compromises all activities to accomplish a satisfactory level of confidence that the system under development fulfills its intended purpose. First of all, it should fulfill its purpose, that for what purpose we have made that software. Then objects of testing can be documents such as specifications or software such as a module or a complete system. The goal of testing is to find errors and remove the causes of the errors. First, the test is for to make our software work properly, run properly. There should be no errors. Testing and implementation are obviously closely connected. If a concept is executed on a computer, as the definition of implementation states, then the implementation must run without errors. Otherwise, the concept has not been implemented, or at least not correctly implemented. In practice, implementation and testing go hand in hand. Now, if we are testing, if we are implementing, if we are doing the coding part, or we are making a design to work, what will you prefer? First, you will code for whole the design. For example, in a page or in an interface, there are so many operations. Like you have a button, also you have to add, also you have to subtract something, also or you have to book something also. Now what will you do? You will do all of these buttons coding first, and then you will test, or you will first test one but implement what button coding, and then test that one button, is that button is working or not? What will you do?
Obviously, ma'am, to run the script and see uh, if it is functioning properly or not.
You don't understand what I am asking. I'm asking, you will implement the coding for whole the page at once and then test in the last, or you will test each functions one by one?
Incrementally, madam, one by one.
Yes. So the implementation and testing goes in hand, means when you will code for one button, for instance, so you will check, obviously you will run that button also, that is that button working or not, the working of a button is appropriate, is good or not, or we should do some changings. So these two things, firstly, when you are executing or you are implementing, you are on implementing stage, you still do testing with the implementation, and the testing will be at the end also for whole of the function, that whole combinedly that function is working or not. The implementation phase plays the important role in the software development process. It is at this stage that the physical source code of the system being built is created. Programmers code and programmers code the IT system on the basis of the collected requirements and the developed project documentation. They are based on experience and proven software development techniques. Whenever a software is made or a system software is made, except though it's the software, there is a hard copy of a document which tells each and every specifications of that software. After the testing and implementation and the final project, when it is done, The documentation, project documentation is also written for more understandable about each and every features. When you for instance, if you are going to show your software to someone senior or someone to other company, you are selling it, or you want them to see your progress. So what will they do? They will first see the document, that what this software includes, what are the specifications of that software. After that, if they will find that software a good software or attractive, then they will try your software, that really it works like that or not. So
Got it, ma'am.
documentation is really important, along with the implementation and testing. Now, what are the advantages of system testing? It verifies the system against the business, functional, and technical requirements of the end users, that how business and other companies will use it, and what are the functions and technical requirements of the end users are, how they want their business application or software to work. It helps in getting maximum bugs before acceptance testing. Now, system testing removes most of the bugs, means errors, before the final test. System testing increases the confidence level of the team in the product before the product goes for acceptance testing. Now, it is pretty sure when you make some software and you have to submit your software to some senior to accept that application or to accept that software. So when your software will be bugs free, error free, then your confidence level will be high. Your team confidence level will be high, that there is no error and there is no way they can reject our system or our software. It is the first testing level in which the whole system is under test from end to end. So it helps in finding important defects which unit and integration testing could not detect. This testing phase uses the test environment, which is similar to the real business environment or production environment. Consequently, it helps in boosting the confidence of users into the product. It is a black box testing, hence testers do not need programming knowledge to perform it. Now, what is black box testing? Do you know about it?
No, ma'am.
Okay. There are two types of testing. One is white box testing and one is black box testing. White box testing is that we do with implementation and testing hand in hand. That you can say it is a white box, that we implement and we test. Then we implement next thing and then we test. It goes parallel. But black box testing means that at the end, when whole system, whole software has been made, we test it as a whole thing combinedly. That is called a black box.
Got it. Got it, ma'am.
And there are some common system testings are functional testing. In this type, tests are run to validate the functionality of system. Obviously, we will first test that whatever code we have written or we have operated, is it functionable or not. Then there is regression testing. This testing verifies whether or not the existing system works properly after the change. Now, if we have any error and we have changed anything, then we will test again to see either our changings are workable or not. Then we will check for its security, that there is no weaknesses shown in our software, so someone can hack it or someone can point at it that this software is not good. Security just doesn't mean about hacking. It is mean that it should be validated for the users. No one can point that this software is not working good or there is some error. Then there is performance testing. This testing assesses the performance parameters like reliability, the stability, and the stability of the system under various conditions. Now, what can be those various conditions and what is reliability? Reliability, that it should be reliable, it should meet users' all requirements, it should work properly, and stability, that it can run on any version, you can say. If you're using it on a mobile or using it on a laptop or iPad, so it should be run. And stability of the system under various conditions, that if something goes down, if your system is has some errors at the back end, So you should have a backup plan that your system should run properly, but you are working on it at the same point. Either it is internet connection issue or any other issue in the software, like there is not something updated, but still it should work. So the user didn't get offended by it. Then there is usability testing. In usability testing, test evaluate if the system is usable by end user or not. Recovery, it validates if the system is recoverable after common closed down conditions. There are many issues related to hacking system also. Some hackers they shut down the traffic, or they shut down your website for some time, or they over traffic your softwares, so no one can access your software. So you should also have the recovery testing, that if something happens like that, it can be recoverable or not. Then there is a documentation testing, verifies the available documentation of the product and its usability. It should also be verified. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then there is evaluation. Now, what is evaluation? The process of judging or calculating the quality, the importance, the amount or value of something. Evaluation of this new treatment cannot take place until all the data has been collected. Now, evaluation of anything means that if today WhatsApp is the most common used software, if we made something like WhatsApp, but they function as same, so why would people go for that app instead of WhatsApp? People will always think like that it's same working as WhatsApp, so why should we change? So that is a process of judging or calculating the quality, that if something is not needed, then why are you doing that thing? You shouldn't be doing that thing. You should have known that what is um, in in today's world, what technology is in, or what can attract people towards that software. So importance of evaluating a system means system evaluation includes measuring the final system against its initial performance goals, as well as performing ongoing testing to see that the system continues to meet those goals. The basic goal of that software should be met. System evaluation is required to assess whether the system is meeting the objectives it was designed to meet or not. While it is hard to predict what your user will say, it is important to mitigate any issue with user experience by quantifying how effective and useful your interactive system is. Now, it is really important. You have to judge it, you have to evaluate it, that how much your software is worth it for the normal people or the normal users to use, or for which people it is made. Either it is for business peoples or business staff. So you will first see that are they satisfied or not. That is really important. How does one evaluate the effectiveness of an interactive system using a user study? Specifically, how useful is the system in helping the user complete their target task? In short, they will see that all in all, are they working good for that goal that you have in mind, that you have designed? What was your purpose to make that software? Is that purpose fully recovered or not? For instance, suppose you have to build a system that learns to automatically extract data from users given examples of text. When the user provides examples of phone number, your system learns to extract phone numbers from hundreds of other documents. Now, there are so many documents and there are so many phone numbers. Now, if the user is just writing a text like just a name, and the query is to extract the number of that name. So, with the very simplest input, the user should get the output. It doesn't matter how many documents are there. That is the best example. If the user wants something, it should just input a very simple text of its demand and it should be fulfilled.
Okay, ma'am.
4 points to evaluate any system, and that are establishing the value of system that defines the system. Value of system is really important. That will define that what is that system about. Meeting user requirements. Increasing productivity is the rate at which goods are produced. If your product is good, so everyone will demand for it, that we want that software. So you should made a software in which the increase in productivity rate is high. Measure the success and impact. What results or responses rates are? It can be, you can judge it by socially, you can judge it by the comments of users, by reviews, that how much your software is successful. Then the main thing is version control. Version control systems are softwares that help track changes made in code over time. As a developer edits code, the version control system takes a snapshot of the files. It then saves that snapshot permanently so it can be recalled later if needed. Without version control, developers are tempted to keep multiple copies of code on their computer. This is dangerous because it is easy to change or delete a file in the wrong copy of code, potentially losing work. Version control systems solve this problem by managing all versions of code but presenting the team with a single version at a time. Now, version control also meant by if there are some updation, your software should be designed like that. If some updation came, so that software should also work on that thing, or only a minimum changing you should be doing. It's so much reliable that it can work on all versions. Either, for example, if on your laptop, your Windows or your laptop specifications are changed than the other person's laptop. But if you are transferring your software to that person's software laptop, it should work on that also. Otherwise, you have to make so many of copies for each version, and that can be harmful for your work, hectic to save all those files with the names of the versions. And if something is changed in one version, you have to change in all versions also. So your software should be version control, so it can be recalled later if needed at any type of version or software. You got my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Why version control matters? There are plenty of things that can take up time as a developer. Reproducing bugs, learning new tools, and adding new features or contents are just few examples. As the demand of users scale up, version control helps team work together and ship on time. Now, everyone doesn't have the same laptops or same versions or same windows. So it is very easy for team to work on it. Purpose of version control: multiple people can work simultaneously on a single project. Everyone works on and edits their own copy of the files, and it is up to them when they wish to share the changes made by them with the rest of the team. It also enables one person to use multiple computers to work on a project, so it is valuable even if you are working by yourself. Now, that point is clear here. All integrates the work that is done simultaneously by different members of the team. In some rare cases, when conflicting edits are made by two people to the same line of a file, then human assistance is requested by the version control system in deciding what should be done. Human assistance is really important if a team is working. So, if one person is going to change something, he or she should revise it with all of the team members, that I have done this change or in this file. Version control provides access to the historical versions of a project. This is insurance against computer crashes or data losses. If any mistake is made, you can easily roll back to the previous version. It is also possible to undo specific edits that do without losing the work done in a meanwhile. It can be easily known when, why, and by whom any part of the file was edited.
Oh,
There are 5 steps for effective version control. Every single file and document should be version controlled. Stick to the logical structure and file naming procedure. It happens along a lot of the time when you change the name of some software. it will not change, or it will give some error if you are using it in another laptop or a system. So the file name and the logical structure, you should stick to it. You shouldn't be the one who is changing. Update documents constantly in relevant batches, include helpful feedback and notes. Remember to set notifications on revisions. That if you have revised or updated something, remember to set notifications for that. Either that notification can be for the user, so it should know that, okay, this software has updated for this reason and this is a new feature. For example, like WhatsApp do, it makes a status for if there is any updation in that software in WhatsApp, a new feature is added or distracted.
Yes.
Then there is the importance of software support and maintenance. What do you think it is about software support and maintenance? What does it mean?
It means after the software has been delivered to the customer,
Yes,
maybe in some stage, user might find some bug which was not discovered earlier. So
yes.
in that case, the support and maintenance team from the software developers, they can kick in and they can find a resolution for that part.
Good. When building new software to supplement their business, most people have some sort of long term goal for their applications. Rarely does anyone have an app developed with the intent of running it temporarily. I don't think so. People make app for longer use. They want their app to be used as long as people are interested, or as long as his goal is not achieved. A software application is an investment that the owner wishes to see grow and prosper over many, many years. Therefore, as an app owner, you need to have certain application maintenance and support protocols in place. First, let us go over the software development process and its various stages. Then we will go over the key reasons why application maintenance and support services are an important part of app development. The process of app development. First, we will see that how an app is developed. What are the main process? The first half of this write-up, we will talk about the typical software development process, which involves 5 basic steps. First, you need to conduct proper research into your app and defines what you want to accomplish with the final product. You explore your options, compare your ideas with potential competitors, research the market, and then decide whether your app idea is viable or not. In this stage, you also need to clearly define your vision for this software application. Then comes the question of budgets and timeless. Now, first, when you thought of making an app, first of all, what will be the content of that app? You will do a proper research. Or is the market up for that plan or not? Is there any scope for that plan or not, or for that app? These are the main things you will first explore. You will proper do a research, then you will see the market, that what is market going on that app, who are the competitors, what are the basic functions I am competing with, and what new I will add for it. And then you will see what are my budget and how much time I have. Second step, once the idea for your app is finalized and you know the direction that you want it to go in, you must come up with a suitable and relevant design for it. Then you will design according to its working. Obviously, you will not just design that without thinking about the working. First, you will think that it should work like this, so I should design according to that. This involves not only laying out the outward appearance of your software application, but also designing the overall experience you want to give to the user who choose to use your app. You will not see that I am designing the code or the app according to myself, that I love it. No, you are not making an application for yourself. You are making the application for the users. You have to think like a user, that if user want to use my application, what will be his thought, that what should be the specifications, or what design should be. it should be professional, or it should be so much of colorful or not? What should be its appearance look like, or its working look like? It doesn't depend on you, it depends on the user who will use it. Then comes the development phase, in which the design and concept from the first two phases are translated into the real working application via extensive coding, also known as programming. After the designing part, then there is the programming part where you will do a coding. When programming is complete, you will require experts, question answers, engineers, and testers to go and check your app thoroughly for any bugs, errors, or flaws. They will prepare your software for launch. Then if you're not a professional, or even if you are a professional, you will consult some people for test your software, that is it is good or not, its design is perfect or not, or is there any error, or should I update it, or should I add something, or should I delete something, exclude something. They will prepare your software for launch, that now it is ready for launch. Now step 5, now that your software is free of errors, it is ready to be released to your target market. At this stage, you can employ suitable marketing tactics to make sure that your software reaches its intended audience. For mobile apps, it is typical to launch them on the Android or iOS App Store. Now, after your software is developed, now you will see that where you will launch it, where you will approach it. Now, for mobile apps, it is typical launch them to, you want it for an Android phone, you want it for an iOS phone, or you want it for the both. That cannot be happen, because if you want it for the both, you will do a separate coding for Android and iOS also, because they are the really two different things. Then what is the bonus? Now, till step 5, the development of an application is done. But what is the bonus 6 step? The last phase in the software development process involves the maintenance and support for the completed app. Many clients think that the 5th stage wraps up the software development lifecycle and do not think that they would require any further application maintenance services. This signifies a vague oversight of their part. Now, why the maintenance is important? To make that application work longer, and to maintain its workability, to maintain its working, its usability. For that, if for example the Android is updated after some times, you usually update your versions, so that application should also run on the updated version. That is the part of maintenance. You have to maintain your software like that, that it should be work for the updated versions also, and all the versions of software, Android software mobiles. Now, why application maintenance and support is important? It provides constant support to the users, that they can use that application consistently. There is no tension that if they are changing their mobile company, even though you say that if it is Nokia and or it is Huawei, they are changing it to Samsung. So will that application work on Samsung also or not? So that is important, application maintenance and support, that it could support each version, each company, each system. Once your app is released in the market, you would want to make sure that it stays up and running. If at any point after the release, the user run into even a minor problem, it would reflect badly on your business and the brand image you might have spent years curating. Then stay relevant. This factor is also partially linked to the previous point where we discussed the rapidly evolving consumers' behavior, which most users exhibit these days. Journal user behavior indicates that they would prefer to use an app that is compatible with all kinds of platform and mobile devices and does not become irrelevant after some time. It is the same point as provide consistent support to users. Version wise, company wise, it should run on each and every platform. Fix cybersecurity lapses. Another major reason why every app needs to be regularly updated is the fact that cybercrime keeps evolving by the second. So you are aware of the cybercrimes also. I don't need to explain it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Attackers keep coming up with innovative ways to compromise app security and accessing private information. To make sure that your app provides a safe experience to your users, it is extremely crucial to make regular security updates to your app as part of your application maintenance. So, why is cybersecurity? Why we have need to fix cybersecurity lapses? Because hackers come up with very innovative ideas to hack. If their one way is blocked, they will find another way. So, to block their another way also, or their another plan also, the apps get updated. The apps doesn't get updated without any reason. They make changes because of some reasons. If it is about the security, so they will update their software or their application with the latest security, with latest antivirus or anti-security part that can stop that hacker to hack into that system.
Yes, ma'am. Usually there are hackers can find backdoors to that software or that application, or
Yes,
maybe that application has become, let's say, if the application was working fine, but on the platform where it was built on, it became obsolete. For example, Java
yes, it is really
application
common.
is still, yes. So the application is still, is still reliable, but the Java version might have been obsolete and vulnerable. So to avoid that vulnerability, they fix the backdoors, or they close the backdoors, or they try to, uh, you know, uh, make available of the patches which
Yes,
we can use as, yes,
yes.
to,
Because hackers always find a way to hack. If they want to hack some software or application, um, even the hacker can be from your competitive company, obviously, also, because other than that, no one matters. So your competitive will try to stop your application working by increasing the traffic or sending some fake emails. It can also include fake emails or fake notifications. So the app updation is really important when you find it that if we can be attacked by some new software or by some new virus. So you update your app so that your app is capable for the fight for that virus. Then there is relevant laws and regulations that affect the design of the system. Now, what can affect the design of a system? First, privacy policy. That is really important for any software. When you design a system, there should be some privacy policy. That is a state. It is a statement of a legal document that disclose some or all of the ways a party gathers, uses, discloses, and manages a customer or client's data. If there is some software, for example, it's Facebook or it's WhatsApp or Twitter, etc., it takes your personal information also, client's data. Or you are using an online application, sorry, online shopping sites. So it takes the client's personal data, including its email, its phone number, its address. So that privacy policy is really important for a software, or when you design a software or an application, to secure that data. That data shouldn't be disclosed. Then there are cookies management. A cookie is a small computer file, a marker which is stored and read on a device, for example, during the consultation of a website, the reading of an email, or an installation or use of a software program or a mobile application, whatever the type of device used. Cookie Manager provides a concrete implementation of Cookie Handler, which separates the storage of cookies from the policies surrounding accepting and rejecting cookies. Now, there are cookies can be some notifications or some malicious ads, or the ads that contain virus. So, cookies are for to exclude it from your path. Every cookie should be managed, and which should be shown and which are not allowed to be shown. Then there is GDPR, the General Data Protection Regulation. It is cleared from the word general data protection. Your data should be protected. That is another law and regulation that affect the design of a system. If your system is not capable of the data protection, then that is not reliable. It was introduced in May 2018. The General Data Protection Regulation was devised and written by European Union However, GDPR compliance impacts international organizations located anywhere around the world if they deal with data subjects based in EU member states. That is the very main point for the design of a system or an application. Then there is a health and safety. What does it mean by health and safety? Health and safety by design is the process of managing health and safety risk throughout the life cycle of structures, plants, substances, or other products. Designers are in a strong position to make work healthy and safe from the start of the design process. Healthy and safety by design is not a separate concept from good design. They are the same thing. It is important to think about health and safety risk at the design stage. Good design enhance the health, well-being, and productivity of workers. Now, health and safety can be the first of all the vision. Also, your vision shouldn't be, or the colors you are using shouldn't be so bright. So, in old age, people cannot use it. It is very sharpy to the eyes, or they don't find it comfortable. Then, secondly, health and safety in terms of the use, that the design should be easy to use and easy to understand. Good design enhance the health. If by seeing or by vision we don't like anything, would you proceed for that thing or not? Obviously not. If you're not satisfied with the vision or with the view, you will not go into that. That you can say it is like a sixth sense that no, we don't like it using, even it's working well. But we, if we don't love while working, if we don't get interested while working, we won't do it. Then there are terms and condition. Every software or platforms has some terms and condition, either in real life or in social life. The number one reason why you need a term and condition agreement is to prevent abuses. Second, your terms and condition agreements helps you prevent abuses by setting out your right to terminate account of people who commit abuses. A terms and condition agreement acts as legally binding contract between you and your user. It is the agreement that sets the rule and guidelines that user must agree to and follow in order to use and accesses your website or mobile app. Basically, terms and conditions for social groups are to prevent abuses. You can take an example of some Facebook group. If there is a Facebook group for some information, so what will be the terms and conditions for that? If there is any age limit, they will mention that. Secondly, don't abuse. To prevent abuses, if there is any abusive person or abusive chat there, they will just terminate you from that group. To lower the chances of abuses, same as the terms and conditions for online working or online shopping, you can say there are also terms and conditions that once you have ordered or without telling any default, you cannot return our product. So each profession, either it is socially or non-socially, there are some specific terms and conditions that need to be followed, and that make the design or the system effective. Then Copyright Design and Patents Act. No one should be allowed to copyright your design. That system should also be implemented. That is really important. That copyrights and patents provides legal grounds for the ownership and the right to pursue legal recourse if someone infringes on your idea. Otherwise, people can go around stealing ideas and creations and selling them as their own. It is hard to prove that one person had an idea over another, which is why the most artists and businessmen apply for protection the second they create something new. So, copyright is really important. Even if for example, if we talk about some blogging, if you are writing some article and if you're copying someone's article, it will directly, the Google will express that this is the copyright. You are not allowed to do this. The content, the writing, the words, the spelling, everything has been copied. So copyright, design, and patent act should be implemented to your design. So no one can copy your design, or no one could copy your idea, or no one should steal your basically app. and beads honor. Then what is DSE? DSE means display screen equipment. Now, the main objective of a DSE assessment is to ensure that a person's workstation is set up for them to achieve the best possible posture, wish list carrying out necessary tasks while minimizing strain of the body to reduce risk of pain or injury. For example, repetitive strain and lessen fatigue. Okay, now we basically find a position, or we want a design which is suitable to our eyes or suitable for our posture or for our brain to understand, to see. It should be pleased to see or work. That is really important. That display is really important. If someone cannot use the bright screen and our application is too much of with bright colors, so he would comfortable to use it or not.
No.
So the display screen is
And some
important.
people have a problem with the flashing lights also.
Yes, the sparkling or flashing light, or you can say the words even. Um, if you are using too much small font, that some people can use it, but that some for some people that is not appropriate. They don't find it good. The interface may not be look good, or they don't want to use that because of that thing that doesn't feel attractive to them.
Maybe colorblind also.
Yes, that is also a thing. So DSC is really important. Then there is an Equality Act. Now, what is an Equality Act? That is the last point I'm going to discuss. It provides Britain with a discrimination law which protects individuals from unfair treatment and promotes a fair and more equal society. Another factor is, if you are designing a software, it should be easy to use or understandable to all users. No difference between age, gender, or by appearance. For example, if India is making some software, so the software company or the app company will not be partially for the Muslims and Indians. It should be an Equality Act that everyone can use it. If there is some information, except that there is some age issues, that 18 plus can use it and lower 18 cannot use it, that is a very different thing. But other than that, the applications or the software should be designed according to age, gender, that every gender could use it. There should be no partial, there should no be partitions between gender. That okay, for example, you can say nowadays the laws has been confirmed, but only men and women can use it, not the third gender. Why? If they want to use the mobile, if they want to use the software, they can use it. It shouldn't be gender biased or by appearance, like in normal life we people do. That is not Equality Act.
That
So we should follow the
that comes
policy.
in abusive.
Yes.
Does that also count on the under the abuse or harassment kind of
No,
thing?
abuse is not, abuse will be in terms and condition. It is just about the equality, that if some software has been made, so for example, we will take as a basic, for example, Facebook for security purpose, it doesn't allows kids to join them according to the information that Facebook account get. So it doesn't allow it. It mentioned that no, this age is not appropriate for this account. But it shouldn't be like a school going student cannot join Facebook and a college going student can join the Facebook. That difference is not an
Got
Equality
it,
Act.
ma'am.
Gender biased means if a young generation is using Facebook, but an older generation cannot use it. That is an age gap, age difference. They shouldn't be judging someone by their age. Then there is a gender, that as I have told, that okay, this application is just for men and women, not the third gender. Why? If they can get some information by that, or if they want to use that software, they can. They shouldn't be just by
Got it, ma'am.
the means of personal convenience. You got my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so your lecture ends here.